This is the third part of the Pilz safety secret video. If you have not seen part 1 and part 2, please look at the description below this video and follow the link to be able to look at part 1 and part 2. In part 1, we were able to describe the characteristics of Pilz safety relay, Pnoz X3, and in part 2, we did the wiring of the Pilz safety relay circuit. And then this part 3, we are going to do a demonstration of how the Pilz safety relay safely interrupts the motors, which we've used to simulate the machine. So in this part, you can see the diagram, the mains contactor, which is being interrupted. This mains contactor is supplying voltage to the inverter. So once the E-stop is pushed, the mains contactor will disconnect the inverter. Here is a quick demonstration of how this Pilz safety relay safely interrupts the electrical motor, which is connected via the mains. This is the mains contactor, which is controlled by the Pilz safety relay, and this mains contactor feeds the inverter mains, and then the motor is fed through the output of the inverter, which goes to the electrical motor. And then the controls of the inverter, we have used a push button, one push button for start and one push button for stop. This one is null. This is if you want to take it the other direction. We can also wire that on digital input 3. So on digital input 1, we have the stop button connected to digital input 1. Digital input 2, we have the forward of the motor, which is digital input 2. If we want it to go on reverse as well, we can wire it to digital input 3. Okay, this is not the case now. We have A1, analog input 1. We have put a potentiometer there. So this is 10 volts and commune. And then we have the A1, which is the analog input 1 for controlling the speed through the potentiometer. So now we can make some demonstration. If we reset, now we have only one light, only one channel, which only one power is on. So once we do the reset, then it will come. It is ready now to run, and it has put in the mains contactor, and then we can push start. If we push the start button, then the motor is running. We're running at 36 Hz. And if there's a problem, if we can normally stop the motor with a stop button. With the stop button, we stop the motor, and then we can start it again because everything is still, the light is still on. Both channels are still okay. If we start it on now, and it's running at full speed, and then if we push the emergency stop, and the 2 channels has gone, and then we can no longer start it, and then it's showing us that there's a fault. The inverter is saying there's a fault. So if we remove the E-stop, we're still not able to reset it. We're still not able to start it because the channels are not okay, are not there. The channel 1 and channel 2 are not visible yet. So if we push the reset button, now it's ready two channels has come back in, and then with this contactor has been pulled in, and the inverter is ready to run again.